Howdy everyone, my name is Griffin Furlong. I am a professional engineer in the state of Florida and I have been an AutoCAD user for over 6 years. In today's video, I'm going to walk through a general workflow of drafting line work in AutoCAD. This video is meant for beginner AutoCAD users. I'm also going to set this up to do a rapid fire of different commands, so hope you guys can follow along. With that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle the ortho. You can toggle this down here with this button, or you can do F8 on your keyboard. First command I'm going to introduce is the polyline command, and you can execute this command by doing PL. This is polyline. I'm going to go straight up for, let's say, 200 feet. That seems good for now. I'm then going to do an offset, and I'm going to offset this line 50 feet. So if you type in offset, we can go and make a copy of this and offset it 50 feet. I'm going to pan over, and I'm going to draw another line somewhere around here. And I'm going to introduce the fillet radius command. What the fillet radius command is, this will ultimately create a radius around these two lines. Now let me show you how to do that. So if we type in F for fillet and then press R for radius, we are now initiating this command. Now it's going to ask if we want to specify a particular radius. I don't have any particular radius in mind, but let's try to use 35. I'm going to use 35 feet. I'm going to now select the lines that I want to create a radius around, and you notice how it starts by forming a radius between these lines. Now let's say if you wanted to make a larger radius, we can initiate this command again, and we can use 50 feet. Now let's reselect these lines, and notice how the radius gets a little bit larger. So this is a perfect command if you want to start building some roadway lines. Another command that I'm going to introduce is the extend command. So I'm going to type in extend, and I want to extend this line all the way up to that line. So in order to initiate this, I'm going to select the objects. I'm going to select both of these objects. I'm going to press enter, and now it's going to ask, well, which one do I want to extend? Well, I want to extend that line, hover over it, and boom. Then we also got the trim command. I'm going to type in trim, and I want to trim this portion right here from this drawing. So I'm going to select both of these lines here, press enter, and then I'm going to press trim right here. Notice that X mark, and then voila. Now another way that you can initiate this same sort of drawing here with a radius is you can do a circle. The first thing I'm going to do is another polyline, and then I'm going to create another polyline up here, and I'm going to show you kind of how to recreate this same little drawing here. So I'm going to initiate the circle command. Type in circle, and notice how we have a few options right here. We have 3P, which is 3 points, we have 2P, which is 2 points, and then we have tan radius. In this case, I want to use tan radius, and what this will do is it will generate a circle that is tangent to these two lines, and then we will specify a radius. So it first is asking which point on the object do I want to select. Well, since I want to create a radius between these two lines, I'm going to select this line, and then I'm going to select that line. Now it's going to ask to specify the radius. So let's say if I wanted to generate that 50-foot radius that we did over there to the left, I'm going to type in 50. And now it's going to generate a circle between these two lines. Now, obviously, this command didn't work exactly how I wanted it to because this line wasn't extended all the way, but let me show you how to lengthen this line. In order to lengthen this line, one way you can do it is by type in lengthen. So we can type in lengthen, then it's going to ask me for a delta. I want to do delta, I want to add like 10 more feet. So I'm going to add 10 more feet to this guy, and I'm going to keep pressing it until it touches the line. That is one way that you can lengthen that line. So now since I have a radius, I can go back and trim. So I'm going to type in trim, and now I'm going to start trimming these lines. So I'm going to select this guy, and then this guy, and now we have generated a similar curve. Now, I don't know if you notice this, but notice how if I select anywhere in model space and go to the left, there's a green rectangle, but if I ever go to the right, there's a blue rectangle. Now, the difference between these rectangles is that a blue select will select only what's within that rectangle. I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I do this blue select, it will only select the object that's within that blue rectangle. Now, if I did a green select, it will select everything that it touches. Again, green select will select anything that you touch. I'm going to show you a third way of how to generate this curve because there are a million different ways to draft, and I just want to show you some drafting tips. So I'm going to continue by drawing another polyline. But once I reach this polyline, you notice that there is so I'm going to do a point of control right there. And then notice how polyline has a setting down there called arc. I'm going to press A and then enter, and then watch it now form an arc. Now I have ortho selected, so it's only making straight lines. I'm going to go ahead and toggle ortho off. But now we can form a particular arc around here. So I'm going to go ahead and click. And then we can keep making different arcs. This is really good if you want to draw some curved sidewalks, some curved ponds. I got this tip from our landscape architects because they sure as heck do not like straight sidewalks. Now, one of the biggest commands that you need to know is Control Z. Let's say you didn't like anything that you just created. If you do Control Z, you will keep going back. All of this is an undo. So I'm going to Control Z everything and go back to the very start of the drawing. Now, if you wanted to see your list of commands on a specific timeline, you can go up here to the top left and you can do this drop down, and this shows you all of the different commands that you've done. So you can undo 24 commands that you just did, or you can undo the last 5. Another command that you need to know is the hatch command. I'm going to first just draw a rectangle. I'm going to type in rectang, and I'm going to draft a rectangle here. And I want to generate a hatch within this rectangle, so I will type in hatch. It's going to ask either for an internal point or if I want to select objects. I know that my computer bogs down whenever I try to select an internal point, which is a way to do it, but I just wanted to show you another way, which is doing select object. So I'm going to select this rectangle, and now we have a hatch. You can change the different hatch type up here, but sometimes you have to play with the scales. Notice how I have these diagonal lines up here, and it's kind of hard to see right here. I want to do maybe a larger scale so I can actually see this different style. So you can play with the scale of this hatch, you can even play with the different hatch transparency, and you can even play with the angle of this hatch. Not to mention, whenever you make a hatch, you can type in properties and you can figure out the area of your hatch. Another command you need to know is the dimension. So if you do a dimension, you can do a dimension from that point right there, and you can do a dimension. But there's all different types of dimensions. I usually do a DAL for dim aligned. Dim aligned is aligning 2 points here, and you can do a dimension like that. You can also do dim linear. Also, if you don't know, if you're drawing a polyline command, you can press C to close that object. So let me show you the difference between dim aligned and dim linear. So DAL for dim aligned. I'm going to click these two right here. So that's dim aligned there, and then dim linear. So notice how dim linear is a little bit different there. Dim aligned is all about the perpendicular length, while dim linear is the distance between 2 points in an X or a Y axis. I'm going to throw a couple more at you. One command that I want to show you is the copy and the mirror. So I'm going to draw another triangle here, and I'm going to do CO for copy. I'm going to select this guy, bring that guy up here, and notice how you can continue to copy until you and now I want to mirror those. So if you want to mirror these triangles and put them on over this side, I'm going to type in mirror. I'm going to select the objects that I want to mirror, press enter. Now it's going to ask for a first point of the mirror line. I'm going to press somewhere over here, and notice how if I start moving this, I can either mirror against the x-axis or I can mirror against the y-axis. I'm going to put these here for now, and it's going to ask me if I want to erase the source object. I'm going to say no. I want to keep both of these triangles. Last but not least, we can't forget about the rotate. I'm going to do RO for rotate. I'm going to select these guys, pick a base point, and I'm going to start rotating these triangles. Now, if you wanted to make these bigger, you can do scale, type in scale. I'm going to select these guys, press enter, specify a base point. Now, I can either keep going smaller or larger, or I can just type in a scale factor. I want to make these 2 times bigger, so I'm going to type in 2, enter, and now I've made those 2 times bigger. That is all I have for today, guys. I hope you guys learned something new. Hope you guys enjoyed my rapid fire set of commands. The commands that I introduced in this video are a must-know for AutoCAD beginner users. The more that you master these commands, the more efficient you will be in your drafting skills. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions. And also, I'm really interested in the types of users that we have out there. Do we have beginners? Do we have any experts out there? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.